time. Just something more.
Well, I was going to say, can I disagree with you for the first time in our warm and productive relationship?
I may try, but go ahead.
There is worldwide an animal called the ethical network. And basically, it's, for example, a coffee shop that wants to offer a network up to its customers. Obviously, doesn't want to go and put them through complexities. It warns the customers, be careful, this is an unprotected network. There are a lot of reasons why organisations, businesses have unprotected networks. It makes sense, it's good for customers, good for business, just don't put anything sensitive across it. So, I actually, fundamentally agree with you. I think that what the Google case does is to say, not always protect your networks, it's don't you ever install an unprotected network for your customers, for your family, for whoever. I think that's the problem here. And just a technical point, yes, you're right, a password protected wireless Wi-Fi network would not have allowed Google into the content data or the header data. But of course, everybody using these ethical networks, unprotected networks, for whatever reason, and some of it could be that you buy a wireless. I went through this one. I bought a router. Couldn't get the thing to work. I tried every trick in the book. I summoned up the genies. I did everything. And so for 4 days, I had an unprotected network. Not my problem. Not that I'm stupid. There's nothing I can do about it. So there's a lot of reasons why people wouldn't be protected.
I don't think we do disagree. I think I agree exactly with that. The Republic will stand.
Excellent.
Next question. Can I add something? I think it was not a case of wireless network protected by password and username. It was encrypted or not encrypted communication, which is fairly different. If I draw the comparison with what you said, then what about telephone call or mail? There is a presumption of confidentiality. There are rules that prevents police or anybody to wiretap or to open your correspondence. And the same should be applied by analogy to the network, because what you do is like exchanging data in an email, like you write a letter, you put it in an envelope, and you deliver it to the mail.
I think now just postcards. I've had very aggressive discussions with people who think it's okay to read people's postcards in mailrooms. I'm basically on their side.
With the gentleman at the back.
Yeah, it's clear from the discussion that people have people feel uneasy with this kind of behaviour on the part of Google and their access to the data, the scale at which they operate. It's not just taking one photo of the street, but having every photo of every street and so on and so forth. And yet, it's been the case that, as you mentioned earlier, the state has been able to do this kind of thing for a long time, and usually does. Our data is not private in that respect, and we sort of may not like that, but that is the reality. I wonder what it is we think that Google's going to do with this data that is so much more scary than what governments do. Is it that it's going to fall into the wrong hands, or is it that this information could be used to build profiles on us in a way which would be very intrusive? And what is it? What do people imagine the sort of nightmare scenario to be?
Simon and Paolo?
My level 1 answer to that is that the problem is not so much that Google would act unlawfully with data, at least not by American legal standards, but that Google would become, if you like, its critical mass of Google's penetration into our lives through so many services means that it achieves an exponential hit into our psyches, our personalities, our transactions, our soul. This is the problem. Once you have a multi-tentacled beast that is able to reach into different strata of your life, then you start to join those together. You start to get a three-dimensional view into a person's brain, into their life. And that, I think, is the problem. It's imagining the future. It's what we do. Simply, we can't stand looking at the present, we imagine the future. And we imagine Google's future in the same way Google does. The difference is that Google gets together and imagines the future with this sort of stratified, deep reach into people and becomes terribly excited and turns it into the business model. We look at it and we have a small heart attack. We go, that isn't the future we want. We want Google, if it keeps going this way, to be split up into different organisations. It wants to be broken up.
Baby Bell style.
Yes, yes. So that's kind of the way we're seeing it. And we're not saying that, okay, the Wi-Fi, the Wi-Spy scandal, as it's called, is different. Street View is a bit different. Most of it isn't that sort of activity. It's what happens if the Google business plan actually comes to fruition, if it works. And that's what worries us.
Paolo.
Well, I think in the first place we should ask Hunter what they are going to do with those data. I don't know, but I have some idea more from the business perspective, as I'm a business lawyer and I advise my clients what to do with the data they collect, and I think for sure something like data mining or profiling operations would be very valuable operation to sell ads that are more and more tailored to the targets. And if I go down this line, well, on the one hand, then they get more money out of it, fair enough. They don't really share that money with the people that have been, whose data has been processed, right? The third one could be unfair competition. I mean, we are in a free market, and this is a competitive advantage to be able to elaborate those data that have been collected unlawfully. But my point is that they're not going to do unlawful things. I don't know. I mean, I should ask the ladies.
Safe to say we're not going to do unlawful things, but you know that's obviously Simon's challenging that through Scotland Yard. So I don't want to get into. I think the answer on a lot of these concerns and a lot of the challenges is finding ways to give people control over their own personal data. I think that's got to be at the heart of solving this conundrum, because I don't think Google or indeed any of the responsible internet companies, because let's be honest, there are lots of irresponsible players, and I would not count Google amongst them. The responsible internet players understand the concerns that are expressed in this room. How could we not be? Frankly, I would quite happily not be in this conversation. I don't think any of us at Google would enjoy having these conversations, and I don't think it's true to say that the Google sort of top brass, if you like, don't get this. I think the last 6 months have been a real, I think everyone's noticed, shall we say, how the reaction against Buzz and then our Wi-Fi issue. So I think we are very mindful of the challenges that the internet poses as a whole, not just the Google products, but the internet as a whole. And I think at the heart of solving these challenges, we think, is giving people control over their data, giving people the capacity to both take their information away from services, to move their personal information entirely out of their services, and to give people the real sense of what their information is being used for. Because I don't think the internet as a platform works on everyone opting in or everyone being asked permission. Or, you cannot have 5 billion people being asked permission on every service basis, but you can say, I remove myself from this service, or I remove this piece of data from this service. I think that is at the heart of solving a lot of these issues.
Okay. You wanted to come back on your own question, please.
I forgot what that was, but I was going to ask another one.
Do you mind if we take 2 others and we'll come back?
Yeah,
We'll take three more questions, and I think we'll be probably wrapping up soon after that for drinks. So,
given that with Wi-Fi, what Google has either said to us has been a lie, we'll probably find out through the courts whether that's the case, or they were telling the truth and their development process has been so slapdash that they don't even know what their own products are doing. How comfortable do people feel, A, using Google's products, and B, should Google be doing a full review of every single one of the products it operates to actually find out for itself what it's doing, and let us know that everything is actually doing what they think it is?
are you asking for comments from the panel, or do you want a poll of the room?
An extra.
All right, do people want to vote on that or not? Are people more concerned about using Google than they were before, or not? I mean, if you want to put up your hand, you can. Are you, as a result of this, more concerned about using Google or not? If you are, you put your hand up. And if you're not, put your hand up. It's about 50-50.
Well, can I just say, this reflects on what Sarah was saying or what Jeff's saying. 5 years ago, it's close to 6 years ago, we ran a block 40 jurisdiction complaint against Gmail. Not because we thought Gmail was a bad thing, it was because the terms and conditions sucked really badly. We got so much hate mail that we probably would have needed a Gmail account.